Alright, so the dog decided to jump into this part of the creek today, right next to the bridge. You know what he didn't realize was once he jumps in this way, there's no way for him to get out at this point. He's now confused as to how to leave the creek. I am going to literally have to go down there and put him over there, like pick him up and put him there, because there's no way he can make that jump. So he is currently stuck. Will he go for it? Go, Augie, go! Up! Augie, up! Can he do it? Can he do it? Up! He did it! Alright, good boy. Come on, let's go! Cool beans, and the battle of the foam continues. Today I'm going to try to collect up all this foam. See if I could pick up any little scrap foam that's laying around and get all this foam out of here, since that stuff most likely will break down the worst out of everything that is currently out here. So, yeah, very interesting. Very trashy as usual. So, alright, well, I am going to get to it. Oh, before I get to it, I just want to give a shout out to the Design School for Regenerating Earth Marin Sonoma Hub. Shout out to everybody in the Marin Sonoma Hub out there down in the Bay Area, getting ready to set up some infrastructure, do some preaching of the bioregionalism gospel, hopefully soon. And hey, if you want to get involved with the project, I will leave a link to the Design School for Regenerating the Earth in the YouTube description. The thing about YouTube is they won't let me link without first verifying something. So the first thing I have to do is, here we go again, on the call. On the call, hold on, let me get this bag open. On the call I was mentioning how I'm picking up trash, but then I'm putting trash in a plastic bag. So I'm basically putting plastic in plastic, and that's my contribution. So unfortunately, or well, fortunately that I'm thinking about it and not just going to go on without thinking about it. When I get back to the house, I will go online and do my due diligence and order some earth-friendly bags. So when I'm doing my trash pickup, I can be a good example for everybody. Just showing that we do have alternatives. Now, we will have to see how expensive these alternatives are, because obviously saving the earth is never cheap. It should be, and it will be, if you just say plant seeds and we work from here. Now, we start doing it, but it will only get more and more expensive the worse it gets, right? So the more we can do now. Ugh! Look at these trees, little branches. Somebody dropped a tree over. Ow! I'll just whack myself with that branch. Ah, somebody dropped a tree over there. Gosh darn it. Look at this foam. Think about the chair you're sitting on right now. Is that chair made out of plastic foam on the inside? Is it? Will that chair become waste? When I get to the desert, I'm thinking about what will my furniture be made out of? Because you definitely want something comfortable to sit on. But you also want to be sustainable. But here's what I say though. You also want to be cool, right? Like, you will never see me say that I want to be uncool and earth-friendly. I want to be cool and earth-friendly. I want my electric car to be badass, but fully sustainable. Made out of as much recycled materials as humanly possible. And maybe I won't even drive an electric vehicle for a while, because they're really not that green yet. You know, shout out to Fisker, who tried to use a lot of sustainable materials in their electric vehicle and somehow have gone bankrupt already again. I'm not sure. I don't know. You see a company trying to do EVs with some sustainable stuff, you think, okay, and it looks nice, and you're like, wow, that's a really cool thing, and then all of a sudden they're bankrupt? I don't know how that works. I'm not a businessman on that kind of business. That's a big business. I'm just a trash man, picking up trash when I can. There we go. Alright, sorry you had to be put down in the corner while I did that. I really better get this chest mount rocking. Tomorrow. But anyway, that's the one thing I'm thinking about, is how do I avoid the use of plastic as much as possible. Oh man, I got foam everywhere, all over everything. It's gonna absorb into my body. So let me just pull this out of here. Go. All right, there we go. More foam. Wonder what this foam was from. There must have been furniture inside of this trailer or something. I don't know what all this foam would be for. Maybe from that someone was sleeping on it like a mattress pad. I'm not really sure. I just hate the fact that I'm breathing all that foam dust in. Oh, it's going straight to the lungs, man. You gotta wonder what's worse, asbestos or foam, plastic foam. You know, I just want to remind everybody that just because everything is getting bad doesn't mean we can't have a good laugh about it. Humor is the way some of us deal with tragedy, right? So if we're out here just leaving trash in the forest, let's have a good laugh about it. Oh, shit. Oh, man. It's really hard to get this stuff in a bag, I'm telling you. Alright, what else we got? I got some foam right here. Oh, it's hiding. This foam is hiding. Oh. Okay. I could taste it in my mouth now. Mmm, delicious. Tastes like the earth is being destroyed. Mmm, my favorite flavor of foam, earth destruction. Mmm. Now with Brondo. Got some more foam here. You guys remember that movie, Idiocracy? I feel like that's what we're devolving into at this point. I hope we are not. I hope that we can beat this de-evolution and wake up to the realities of the world that we live in and that we've made ourselves. And we can avoid the idiocracy. It looks like we won't be able to, at least for the next 4 years. Either, no matter who wins, it's going to be an idiocracy, in my opinion. No political sides here. I'm not a fan of either one, or basically any politicians in general. We should be organizing in ways that make more sense. As you can see, I've got another bag full of foam here today. There is another 1,000 bags of trash left for me to pick up here, so onward I go, back towards the house. Okay, so, there's this fun problem that we have right now, which is something we were discussing today, which is the fact that we live in a world of capitalism, which I would say most people are fans of capitalism. If you would ask them, they would say, yeah, capitalism is the way to go. But then you look at the results and you go like, are you sure that's the way to go? And the problem is that, like, people's immediately goes to like, well, if you're not going to be a capitalist, then you're going to be a communist or a socialist. And that's horrible. And you got to go like, oh, okay, well, sure, we've had bad examples of both of those things, just like we've had bad examples of capitalism. So far, we're, on those three things, we're pretty much 0 for 3 on that, right? Like, none of those have really worked out too well for all of us yet. And maybe none of those systems are the right system at all. I mean, maybe there's a whole way we haven't imagined of organizing yet and getting things done. I mean, I'm like pro the gift economy, right? Like just giving things to people for free. And then, there's that, not an expectation of return, but knowing that like, hey, if I need something and that dude has it, he'll probably help me out. I helped him out, he'll help me out. Mutual aid, I guess you would call that. The belief in mutual aid is real. Especially if you live like on a mountain like this, because where there is no police and where there is no easy access to a hospital or medical clinic even, they have to come and pick you up in a helicopter if you want speedy medical service here. In a place like this, you definitely need to be able to rely on mutual aid, because if you couldn't, you would probably just die out here. I mean, let's be honest. Like, last year or the year before, we were snowed in for like 45 days, right? And so, yeah, at some point, someone came up to check in on us and make sure we were okay, right? Even though we had no way of getting out other than just walking, which I did end up walking out one day. Needed gas for the chainsaw. So I did end up walking out one day to pick some stuff up from the store. But if it's not for mutual aid, where everyone's checking in on each other and making sure we're all okay, then how would that have turned out? Like if my couple of neighbors nearby didn't be like, hey, you all right? You guys need anything? And it goes both ways too, right? Like you have the walkie-talkies, keep them charged up. There's no cell service, so you just make sure you always have your walkie-talkie on. And if somebody needs you, boom, you're right there, right? Like you realize when you live way out here that if you break your leg, you could die. Just because you might break your leg and might be on the side of the road over here for days and days, you might not be able to walk or say something like that, and you just perish because of time and nobody drives by or sees you, right? So just remember, like out here, they still practice that kind of stuff. So, it's important to remember that just because things are the way they are in the city, where it's basically a free-for-all, and yeah, even out here on the mountain, it's a free-for-all, but there still is that little inkling, little piece of the past of being a community, just because when you're this remotely located, you really can't get away from it. It's a necessity. Like imagine this bridge went out, and you're in the middle of the woods. What are you going to do if you can't rely on your neighbors to come help you get you across the river or help you fix the bridge? Because certainly you are not going to be fixing a bridge by yourself, right? And there's no way the Forest Service is coming up here with any type of speed to fix it, nor Caltrans or whatever. So it's you and your neighbors. And I just want to remind everybody that still is a thing that exists. And it may not exist in a lot of places, but it does still exist. And just remember, people want to do good for the most part. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it. My parting thought today is, have an amazing day. That's the first thing. But my second thought was, as an experiment, you should go out and try telling people that every day is the best day of your life. Just do it. Just if somebody asks you how your day is going, no matter, even if your day is horrible, put a smile on your face, be cheerful, and be like, every day is the best day of my life. And I think eventually, if you say that, say it for like a week straight to everybody that asks you how you're doing, it'll become a habit. And what you'll notice, I believe, is that people will respond to you differently going forward. And even at that moment, like you will, everybody says they're having a good day. Some people say they're having a great day. But if you tell people that every day is the best day of your life, that's going to have some slight impact on their life. Trust me. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous, and it sounds like, oh my God, overly optimistic or something. But I just want to say that you should learn from your mistakes every day and try to improve the next day from what you learned the previous day. So technically, if you're practicing that, every day is the best day of your life. Because you've learned from the mistakes of the past, and you've, made the necessary adjustments, and you're moving forward. So you can definitely mean it. Anyway, that's it. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Today is the best day of my life, like every other day. So don't work too hard, and I'll see you soon. Soon, i.e. tomorrow, when we pick up trash again together. Peace.